it's converted man here. Deconverted man is in the house again. Yes. A brief look at a real philosopher. Uh, Probably one of my shortest videos. So maybe not the shortest, but pretty short video. So just to recap, this is his original video uh, where he gives the argument from contingency based on consciousness, which is a new apologetic that has arisen as of late, an attempt to argue that uh, either that consciousness is not well understood, therefore God, or that consciousness can only be derived from consciousness, and there's all sorts of gaps of the gods in this argument. Basically, it's an argument of incredulity, of personal and ignorance, and full of gods of the gap, and just basic nonsense in regards to science. It is not really anything special to this argument other than it's quote new quote. It's not impressive. It's word salad 101. And I think that certain apologists will grapple onto this argument because it seems sophisticated, and then they can use word salad and make themselves feel better about that and make themselves seem sophisticated, even though the argument boils down to consciousness. That means God exists somehow. That's really what the argument boils down to. Anyway, so that's that video, and I had a brief look at that, and the guy here that sent me the essay, which I'm assuming is the same version as in the video. To be completely open, I did not watch the video because the essay, I think, deals with the contents of the video. I could be wrong, but I thought that was kind of the idea, that so it saved me some time from watching the video to just read through the essay that he wrote instead. Now, if the video has different content than the essay, well, fair enough, okay. But any rate, so I haven't watched the video. I've only read the essay. He sent me the essay because he doesn't have it here in his description. I don't know why. I have it in my description because you can easily host things on Google Docs for free. So that's where I'm hosting it, and you can look at it now. So let's take a brief look at that. Here's that. The argument from contingency based on consciousness. And, he kind of missed, a good opportunity, though. And that would be to say, hello, my name is his name here. That would have been a really great way to introduce this. Okay. If you don't know what that alludes to, don't worry about it. All right. Anyways, so that's that. All right, and then in the strangest request, I think I don't want to say I've ever had, but it's quite a bizarre request. He said that he wanted me to read. Yeah, nerdy gets it. Read his email, which, like, okay, but okay. So this is. He says, so that means you're not afraid to read my let me get this here so we can see what let's see. You're not read my email verbatim on your channel to clear up your confusion, right? Because see, I didn't understand his argument, and so or has he puts it, because we must be sophisticated in our speech. I responded to your email. All your video did was show that you don't understand an argument you're trying to polemize as you don't understand my monograph. Dude, unless you're in school, nobody cares. If you want to submit this essay to, like, I don't know, philosopher, teacher, whatever, do it. I'd love to know what your grade would be. I don't care about these fluffy words. They don't mean anything. They're not impressive. We don't care. We're not impressed by them. And I speak broadly, but I suspect that nobody will be impressed by this, except for perhaps, maybe, other philosophers. Maybe. But you're on YouTube, man. Come on. Just get off your high horse, all right? At any rate, whatever. So we didn't use polymerization, and we didn't summon a synchro monster to our side of the field in attack mode. So we clearly didn't understand his argument. So, anyways, I read his email verbatim on my channel to clear up my confusion. Because, so if you don't, that means you're afraid to talk about my real argument. Oh, it does, really interesting. It's about how consciousness must be produced by something similar to itself, because we don't have example of causes giving substance to contrary effects. We don't? Really? At all? Any? Are you sure? Seems like a universal statement to me. So if we find any one thing that is a cause that gives substance to contrary effects, then this whole thing's negated, and I don't know why I would bother then reading your email, because all I have to do is negate that one universal statement. But apparently he knows how I think, feel, and believe, because he said, I am afraid it would prove atheism wrong. Since atheism, it's based on a contradiction of a cause producing a contrary effect. So let us take in this for a moment. Prove atheism wrong. Okay, so what might he mean by this? What would it mean to prove atheism wrong? Well, I'm not really sure, because there's two versions of atheism. There's the version of atheism that says, I don't believe in God, which is true. It is something that I am saying, and I know that it is true within my own mind that I do not believe in God. Can I prove that? No. Not easily, at any rate. I would need some sort of apparatus that could detect when I am saying something that is more true than false. And I'm not talking about polygraph, because those can be messed with and aren't very reliable, but some sort of sophisticated device that could actually, do what a polygraph is meant to do, but in actuality rather than in pretend. And I don't want to get too in the weeds about polygraphs and how they're not scientific in nature, but nonetheless, okay. So I would need some sort of device. So I don't have that. So what do we rely upon when we utter, I believe X, or I don't believe X? When we say that, we do not incur a burden of proof, because that's just basic logic. When someone says, I do believe in leprechauns, okay, that's what you believe. We just assume that you're telling us the truth. Maybe you're lying, but there's no reason to think that you are right now. And if we find out somehow that you were lying, then okay. And the same is true when you say, I don't believe in leprechauns. You don't have any burden of proof. So belief statements are not subject to the burden of proof, which I'm sure that a sophisticated thinker like this would know basic logic like that. So, but, in case somebody in the audience doesn't know, I'm pretty sure my audience does, but covering all my bases. So it can't be that. It can't be that version of atheism where I don't believe in God is false, because there's no way that you could ever prove that that's false unless you could come up with some device that could read my mind and show that actually it's the case that even though consciously I think that I don't believe in God, but subconsciously I do, or some other ridiculous nonsense like this, uh, without that device, then no, you couldn't ever disprove that version of atheism. And then there's the other version of atheism, which is the statement, there is no God. That is the other version of atheism. Okay, so we're assuming then he means that. So to prove that there is no God, all you would have to do is prove that there is a God. That's it. Now, how would you do that? Well, I would think that the best way to go about proving a claim would be one of the following: empirical evidence, a repeatable test or two, or a valid and sound argument. Now, he doesn't have empirical evidence to offer. We already know that, because if he did, he'd just show us that, and that would be the end of that. He doesn't have any repeatable tests to offer. We know that because if he did, he could present that as scientific evidence of God and get rather rich and famous. So, what does he have? Well, we know what he has. He has an essay. So he has, at best, an argument. But is the argument valid and sound? Well, no, to both in this case. And I do say both. It is neither valid nor sound because it is not a syllogism. It is an essay. Essays are different than syllogisms. So could he have an argument in there that if one was to construct a syllogism out of it, that you could make it be at least structured correctly? Perhaps. But would it be without logical fallacies? Well, that's a good question. How would we identify those logical fallacies? And this goes right back to that same question of how we would prove anything in the first place. How do we prove God? Well, empirical evidence, repeatable test, or a valid and sound argument. But wait a minute. To prove that he has logical fallacies, using a logical argument to do that wouldn't really work. You have to demonstrate that it is indeed fallacious in some way, shape, or form. And to do that, you have to expose it to the real world, which means you need empirical evidence or a repeatable test. The logic alone isn't sufficient, perhaps. So then, where does that leave us? Well, it leaves us with that the only possible way that he could hope to prove atheism wrong would be with empirical evidence or a repeatable test, but he doesn't have that. He clearly thinks that then he has a valid and sound argument, but he can't have that without having the other thing, which he doesn't have. So we know already, before we read anything, that he has nothing to offer. But because I'm interested in pointing out logical fallacies, I'm all too happy to expose the many multiple logical fallacies that he has. It's just something I wouldn't do live. I would do it off air because it takes time and energy to analyze an argument properly, especially one that is so messy as his essay. As far as being afraid, no. I want the truth. And so here's the problem is, let's say his argument somehow proved some version of God. It would have to be a version of God, too. It couldn't be the universal concept of God because, well, that would be pretty much impossible to prove. It would have to be a very specific type of God. And so that would negate all the other God claims. So if he had such a proof, then all the world religions would have to agree with that version of God, whatever that is. they wouldn't, but in an ideal world, they should. As far as this thing though, that atheism is based on a contradiction of a cause producing a contrary effect. What does he mean by that? No, really, what does he mean by that? Does anybody have any idea what the bleep he means by that? At all? I mean, the closest I can come up with is what? A paradoxical reaction? So, like a chemical substance producing the opposite of what you would think it should produce. For example, oh look, but that couldn't be because we have plenty of examples of that. And he said that we have, what was it? He says, you know, that we don't have examples of causes giving substance to contrary effects. So it can't be a paradoxical reaction that he's referring to, right? Because, here's a few, just saying, like, here's a few of those. So it can't be that, right? It can't be any of this. That's not what he's talking about, right? Can't be any of that, right? So, no. Okay, so it can't be that. So, contradiction of a cause producing contrary effects. Well, let's see. Paradox? Does he mean paradox? No, it's not that. That doesn't seem to be. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Where does it? Let's see. Where is this? I'm not finding anything about this phrase on Google at all. So I don't know what he's talking about. I have no idea. But maybe somebody does, but it's not me. I don't understand what he said. But is atheism based on a contradiction of a cause producing contrary effects? Even if one is to take the second version of atheism, which I think we've established is probably what he's going for, that there is no God. That's it. That's what atheism is. Let's just say that, okay, there's no God. That's what atheism says. Okay. Is that based on a contradiction of a cause producing a contrary effect? No. Because it's not based on anything at all. It's based on the statement, there's no God. That's what it is to be an atheist. That's it. Now you might say, but, what's atheism based on then? That's not a thing that it is. Atheism is not based in that way. See, atheism is a description, not a prescription. You're confusing atheism with a worldview, which it isn't. But of course, you would know that, right? You're the expert. You know these fancy words. Surely you know that atheism isn't a worldview. Cue the moment when I show that he has said that atheism is a worldview multiple times, right? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, we're going to have to do that. Okay, so let's see. Is that his or mine? Because I wasn't sure. Okay. Yes. All right. Let's see. Make sure. All right. Now, I'm not sure if I should read the email I sent to him first. By the way, I'm not reading this entire email verbatim because here's his email. And since he told me to read it, like I feel that I can share it with you guys. Otherwise, I would share it in private with somebody else, perhaps, but not publicly. But anyways, it goes on and on for a while, and I just don't feel like reading it. But anyways, he's not wasting my time on me because unless I can be serious. Farty fart 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 fart. Farty fart, 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 fart. Woo! Like Aristotle says in the first chapter of Ethics, we, philosophers, do not engage with incoherent people. But you are. You are an incoherent person and you're engaging with yourself. So already that's foolish. Everybody's incoherent to some degree. So, you're going to walk yourself right off of YouTube then. By the way, welcome to YouTube where theism goes to die. Yeah, I guess you're not going to engage with me then. It's so sad. He doesn't want to engage me. We only engage in serious practitioners. Get that, man. Whatever. Being serious, blah, 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 blah. Number one, he won't answer questions on theology right now. Well, that's a problem. Now, again, I'm not sure. Do you guys think I should be reading my email so you guys know what the hell he's talking about? Or do you think that would help at all? Aren't miracles themselves paradoxical events? Yeah. Well, a thing that can, a thing that produces something that isn't itself, wouldn't that be God, though? Since the universe isn't God, then God can't produce the non-universe, because God could only then produce God, because that's what's like God is God. So, and also the universe is not with a mind. So if we're to go with what he said in the first place, that means that God couldn't produce the universe unless the universe also had a mind, because things can only produce like things, right? Isn't that how that goes? I don't know. I'm stupid, so I don't know. But you can all tell how serious I'm taking this. All right. Nobody's saying whether or not I should read my email or not. Whatever. I don't think it would clear up anything. Proof of God, video time step, whatever. I don't care. All those questions you're asking about the nature of God are permanent, but once we start giving God attributes and qualities, that becomes theology. Yeah. Right, but that's not a me problem. That's a you problem. I think that this doesn't make a lot of sense without me reading my own email. So even though you guys, gals, and everything else didn't tell me to do that, I'm just gonna do it anyways because it's my video. Do whatever. Okay, so yeah, this is it. Okay, so this is in response to his essay, which I've linked. Again, the essay that he wrote that I thought is like the exact same thing as the video. I don't know, maybe it's not. Whatever. So this is the email I sent him about his essay once I read through it the first time. Now, I have yet to analyze it for logical fallacies, mind you, but this is just off the cuff what I thought of his essay. It's broken. I can't fix it. I mean, I could point out the many logical errors, but I don't know that would help you. It seems you have a very strange view of what atheists are or are not saying about how things work. And you seem to also lack an understanding of cosmology and basic logic itself. It's very wordy and seems you have dived deep into a lot of philosophy, but without any coherent logical structure or understanding to back it. That dead matter makes no sense and should be discarded in full. But it's worse than that. So, what you do get wrong, well, everything, but perhaps we can start from zero. What is it that atheists are suggesting in regards to the universe? Now, I can only speak for myself, broadly speaking. Assuming we're going with there's no God, then there's some of the way the universe came to be what it is, and I have no idea. None. I don't know. I just accept whatever cosmology produces as its answer to that question. Okay, that's something that can be understood via study data, testing, probing, models, etc. Some other thing, God, cannot be understood via that. Okay, it's not on the table, not even possible, because there's no there to look at. So that's the divide between you and I. You project into the universe a thing that exists but can't be seen, can't be tested, can't be probed, can't be, well, what the hell word was I trying there? modeled is what word I was going for. Probably spelled that wrong. Whatever. If I ask what's God made of, you reject the question because God isn't made of anything. It's not a thing. Now I'm assuming here. I should have made that clear, I guess. How does God function? Where does its energy come from? How does its mind work? What is its brain? All those questions cannot be answered. And I think he would reject them outright, saying that this is a category error. I could be wrong, of course. I don't know what version of God he's going for. Anyways, so you see how I temper with what you may or may not think, feel, or believe? That's lacking in your essay. You are sure what atheists think, feel, believe, or do not. So I'll take an example from his essay. The reason I keep seeing this is because the atheistic worldview claims there's no consciousness outside of biological organisms. Hey, remember that time in the video I said a while back where he would think that atheism's a worldview? Yeah, remember that? Yeah, this is that moment where that comes back. So yeah, atheism isn't a worldview, but you would think as a philosopher, as a real philosopher, mind you, he would know that. But I mean, I guess he didn't. So I don't know what to do with that. Anyways, all else is the atheistic worldview claims that there's no consciousness outside of biological organisms. This is so broken, but whatever. Okay. All else is dead matter. However, the atheist has yet to explain how intelligent, feeling creature with the ability to form self-reflection can exist in the universe of dead matter. So, first, to fix that, because that's his quote, right? Let's get rid of the whole nonsense dead bit. Okay. Oh, also, wait, you claim there's an atheistic worldview? There is not. Let me fix that. Also, you have the logical fallacy of shifting the burden of proof and appeal to ignorance, so I'll get rid of that as well. And this is his now revised fixed sentence that I am offering to him that he should use instead of what he did. The reason I keep saying it like this is because I think the atheists claim that there's no consciousness outside of biological organisms. There you go. Isn't that, let me ask everybody in chat, wouldn't you, if you were to read that from his essay, pretend that he had written that, there's no objection that I have to that. Maybe you do, but I don't have. I'm like, okay, I understand where you're coming from. Okay, that's what you believe. That's what you think. But that's not what he wrote. He said that the atheistic worldview claims X. Well, no, it doesn't. One, there is no atheistic worldview. Two, who is claiming this? Nobody that I know of. I mean, I don't know. Three, even if you're to try to stretch what you are saying here to the farthest lengths that they could be strength, and what you actually meant to say is that the thing that is claimed by materialists and just nature is that the only consciousness that exists is in the brain. Because see, that would be closer to what maybe a claim is actually doing. Like science doesn't even claim that. So it's we have observed consciousness to be an emergent property of the brain. Yeah, I agree. That's it. But I can't claim that there is no consciousness beyond that or outside of that because I don't know about the entire universe. So I personally would never make that claim. And I don't think that any atheist has made that claim. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. So not only is there no atheist worldview, but I don't think that there's a single atheist that's ever actually made the claim in the way that you're suggesting. So to fix your broken essay, my suggestion was that you just make it about what you believe to be the case about the universe and the world around it. Rather than assume that you know what atheists think, feel, and believe, that your essay should reflect what you believe and think and feel. You could say, I think the atheists view it this way. I believe that the atheists do this or that. Then I wouldn't be making this video right now. I wouldn't be plowing you into the proverbial ground as I grind down upon you the facts of reality that you think that I'm scared of. Anyways, I said much better. Maybe it can be fixed. Because remember earlier I said I don't know if it can be fixed. I don't make that claim. I do claim the only consciousness we know of is the one that results from having our brain or brain-like structure. Do you have anything to offer to shows that can arise from or it is possible to have on its own? Not an argument, but proof. No, you don't. I know you do not, because I also know that no one does, else it would be kind of a huge deal. Without such proof, you have only the assumption that there might be a way somehow to have consciousness without a brain. And hey, that's what you think there is. Great, fine. Get it. But you have to temper your words to show that you do not know that this is true, but change them to reflect that you think or believe it to be true. Else, logical issues flow from your pen and rot the whole. My advice is the following. Drop the whole dead matter nonsense. It's incoherent and full, has no real meaning, and every non-theist, and I suspect a few theists, will and should outright reject this nonsense in full. It destroys your try at any argument. Number 2, do not strawman. Example, this is an actual example from his essay. The atheist's claim is analogous to saying that a chicken can produce a cow, that a chicken, something small, can produce a cow, something large. That's a straw man. Nonsense. We get a great laugh out of that, but it won't convince anyone that understands basic logic. Number 3, there is no atheist worldview. Get rid of all mentions of that nonsense. And then your sources shouldn't be YouTube videos. That will be rejected in full. And in his essay, he had YouTube videos as sources. And so I said lots of rewrites for this. Also, learn informal logic. Oh, one last thing. I wouldn't make a video on this essay if you agreed to fix it. Would you fix the essay? And I didn't hear back from him, so I went ahead and made the video anyways. So that's my email to him. Now, very short, I think, well, considering, if you've been around long enough, you know how long I tend to go. So this is his response to all that. Is like, he's not going to answer questions on theology, which I didn't ask. That's not in my email. The questions I asked about the nature of God. Okay, no, those are examples that I was giving. I wasn't asking those questions about God. If you'd actually, read the email, maybe you need reading comprehension, as you accuse me of not having reading comprehension. And I should have took a breath there, but again, I'm not taking any of this seriously, so whatever, I don't care. So if you want to ask me those questions, save them for my video on theology. No, I don't want to ask you any questions at all. Actually, I don't think that you could answer any of those questions, and I don't really care. Okay, I was trying to help you. This is about you and your problems, not anything else. Anyways, I never made the claim that the equation was expression of the atheist worldview, and this is the this is in his video. Let's see. Now I got to get the video back here. Where he's like, dead matter plus dead matter equals equals dead matter. That's the atheism worldview. I think that he did indeed make that claim, if not explicitly, then implicitly. But you tell me what you think. So just here's his video. Okay, let me get that on the screen here. Gotta switch the thingy to the thingy. Where are you? There you are. Gotta get the right thing on the thing to the thing of the thing. Okay. Oh man, this is lovely. All right, here we go. All right. Okay, so, what? Yeah. Why did it blank out like that? That's weird. Okay, so you see number one, dead matter plus dead matter equals dead matter, atheism. So he's saying in this email that he's not claiming that that's the atheist worldview, but then why is it up there with the parentheses of atheism around it? Seems to me like you think that that's what atheists think or something to me. I mean, I'm just saying, uh, you didn't really make it that clear. Maybe that's again your problem, not mine. Um, I claim that the equation is representation of truth and refutes the atheist worldview. Well, again, there's no atheist worldview. Anyways, let's see. I said the atheist will call my equations an assumption. Well, no, your equations are just broken. They're not even assumptions. They're not even equations. I wouldn't even call them equations. They're just broken. Period. And then I clarified the atheist argument, say exactly what you said you video about real. Yeah, well, that's nice, but you didn't do that in your essay, and I was critiquing your essay, not your video. So I know you're confused, but anyways, the whole argument is about how consciousness is provided by a cause similar to itself, which is not true. Consciousness is not produced by a cause similar to itself. Conscious that what does that even mean? That's completely incoherent. Consciousness arises in the brain. Now, when does that happen? I don't know. Is it like the moment you're born? No, because your brain's not fully formed then. Are we talking just about humans? Are we talking about other animals? Because they have consciousness as well. Do plants have consciousness or not? We could get into the weeds there. But yeah, look, this is your belief that you think is true, but you have to demonstrate it's true. Okay, that's your argument. Yeah, the whole argument's about that. Right. I get it. But your whole argument is broken. So that's the problem. You have to fix your argument. Your essay is one that we're going to make fun of, like I'm making fun of it right now. You see what I am doing here and now, where I am making fun of you and not you, your argument. I don't know you. I don't have to make fun of you. Maybe you think I am, but I'm not. But yeah, this is just silly, and I was briefly critiquing your essay in my email and telling you need to fix it. That's it. That's anyways. It's not about the idea that consciousness is a mystery, therefore God. Well, it is though, kind of. Obviously, that claim that consciousness is a mystery is incoherent. I would have stopped being an atheist with that kind of logic. Well, I don't know that you ever were an atheist. I've heard that too many times from too many theists that have claimed that. Maybe you were, but I seriously doubt it. The sort of atheist that you might have been is one that didn't care about skepticism, perhaps. But I don't know. I can't verify that, and I just doubt it. I doubt it as much as when pastors sit on planes next to people and have this amazing conversation that benefits them. So I just don't buy it. Okay, I don't buy the whole "I was an atheist" thing. Just me. I'm just a little bit jaded and skeptical about that. I know I'm a bully. I repeat, those are just a few things I misunderstood. No, this isn't about my misunderstanding. This is me trying to fix your broken essay in a very short amount of sentences that I sent you. That's it. Um, I'm just trying to help you to have an essay that we would actually not make fun of. But you don't want that, I guess. I guess you want this convoluted mess of an essay. So, okay. So the very fact you can't even understand what's going on means there's no point in having a conversation with you. Correct. There is no point in having a conversation with me because I deal with reality and you deal with delusion. I guess, Stop coughing. Only I can cough during these things. It's fine. I don't care. This isn't a serious anything because I'm not going to be serious because he wanted me to be serious. You also notice I'm not reading his thing in full because screw that. If you're interested in a serious discussion, well, I'm not. So let's get rid of that. I think the best idea would do a video together and discuss the arguments. you don't have any arguments. You have an incoherent mess of nonsense. It's not even the formation of an argument. I'm not going to do that because you have told me multiple times what I think and feel, and I don't want to talk to you because you did that. So remember, I tried to help you. That was the first email I sent, was me trying to help you to write a better essay so that you didn't upset and irritate atheists, but you didn't want to do that. So now, why would I talk to you? You've already said, if I don't do X, Y, and Z, you're not going to talk to me. So whatever. Blah, 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 blah. You can understand what my argument is of presupposing some new age bullshit that I didn't even say. Well, it doesn't have to be new age to be bullshit. It's just bullshit. And it doesn't matter. What you said is nonsense in your essay, which is what I was trying to fix for you, but you didn't care. So I'm only interested in clarifying my argument with you and your viewers. Okay, then rewrite your essay. Not that hard. Rewrite your essay. Your essay sucks as is. I read through it. I don't know if any of my viewers did, but let me know if you've read his argument and what you think of it in the comments. Don't clarify your argument. Fix your argument. Once you've done that, we'll take a look again. Okay, and I'll give you a second shot at that point. I'm not interested in talking about anything else. Just as a conversation on theology because blah, blah, whatever. I don't care. Finally, dialectic is a science. No. Geez. Whatever. I don't care. Anyways, then you got PS1, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I'm done reading it. All right. So I read through most of it. None of it proved atheism was not true. None of it could possibly hope to clarify his broken essay. I don't know about the video because, like I said, I haven't bothered to watch the video, and I don't really plan to. I still don't think I'm going to analyze the essay, only because it would be interesting to me, but I don't know that it'd be interesting to anybody else. But what I did do is send that off to a few people and see if they're going to respond to his video or his essay. I don't know if they will or won't. Probably not, because it's so broken that there's no way to actually respond to it without fixing it first, which he doesn't want to do. So that's it. I'm not scared of reality. You don't have it. If you did, you wouldn't need a broken argument. You would just show us the empirical evidence or repeatable test, which you don't have. The only thing that you could possibly hope to have would be a valid and sound argument, but because you keep insisting on saying things like atheist worldview, atheists believe this, atheists assert that, then your argument's going to be broken because of those assertions, which I tried to tell you in the email. There you go, man. There, I fulfilled your request somewhat, not fully, but good enough for me, and I'm happy with it. So look forward to reading your next incoherent comment where you complain about that I didn't do it, and you tell me what I believe some more, so I can get really irritated about that. Yay! I really love it when theists tell me what I believe. It's just great, isn't it? All right. Also, you were never an atheist. I don't believe you even a little bit. Do you like that? No, probably not. Then don't do it to me then. All right. Bye. Stay skeptical. This guy isn't. But he should be skeptical. He didn't stay skeptical. He went to theism because, I don't know, whatever reason. Thanks for watching. Finn. All right.